Well, good morning. This is day 3 of our adventure at the flat tops, and we are at the top still, and we need to hike out. And actually, we're gonna head for the Causeway and decide whether we want to do the shortcut Causeway or just continue around the loop, because the Causeway is like in the middle of a figure eight. So anyway, we need to head to that direction. We're too far over to the cliff, and that's the ridge over there, so we're gonna head out in that direction, and the Causeway is just beyond that. So we'll talk to you later. And we're walking. This is overlooking the other side.
I did this last night, you know.
Ah, but I didn't. Smile.
Hi.
And this is the cliff. Yay!
Look at the snowflake. Let's go for a slide.
Well, that's one way to get down real quick. So we're on the edge of the mountain here. That's our last night campsite, as David had said.
We're on the top of Chinese Wall.
Chinese Wall. It's not a mountain, it's a mesa, and it's called a flat top wilderness. It's different. And there's all your beetle infestation trees on that side. And on that side, it's supposed to be a fire. Looks the same to me. I don't know where our water source will come from. This will be very dry. And we have to walk across these patches. It's kind of crunchy, no big deal. Sometimes you just stick your foot maybe in a couple of inches. And but if you come out here in July, I don't know. There's gotta be water. But I would just come up here only when you see patches. These are the so-called markers that you have to follow along the ridge line. They're very easy to see from far away, so you can't get lost. It's usually a pile of rocks. It's called cairns, 3 of them, but that's a little bit more than 3 rocks. And Dave's heading back to the trail. And there's our trail. We got some signs of civilization, yay! We just passed the Causeway. We decided not to go over there and stay, and we're going to talk to those horsemen to see which one of these lakes is best for fishing. We might have to drop down to one of these or just keep going. It's nice to have an open agenda, but we only got dinner for one more night, so actually we do have an extra dinner, which we plan to eat for breakfast. Anyway. So here's the second trail junction. We just have to stay on the same trail. What'd you think of that little waterfall, huh?
Very nice. Feels like 88 degrees out.
It's getting hot. We're losing our altitude. We're coming down from that top area there.
Almost looks like the water's going that way. Is it? Maybe it is.
Was that a river?
Well, it's the stream that runs through this valley, I think. The main stream.
And this is the last lake on our way out.
Well, maybe not.
Well, maybe not. This is Mosquito Lake. This is where we thought about camping for the night. It's right next to the trailhead. However, the bugs are just like, we're just gonna go home after fishing at Reservoir for a little bit. This is the view from the opposite side of the lake. And all that meandering around is water.
Last hiking day of our trip.
The third day. Okay.
To the Flat Top Wilderness. We have about 2 miles of tundra walking to the Devil's Causeway. And it was pretty slow going.
Point.
But we managed to do it in a couple hours, or less than 2 hours. and met some hikers. The first two people we ever met up and they're walking over to the Causeway. We remained on the trail heading south, and right about here met a couple horse people with a dog, which was a nice friendly dog, and we were talking with them for about a half hour about all the local rides they've done, and we learned more about the history of the area. Then we continued down to the junction of Trappers Lake and the Stillwater Trail, which we took to the trailhead, and we had about 3 miles left. We got down near the drop-off and took a lunch, and before that we met somebody who told us about the mosquitoes down here, and we were going to stay at Mosquito Lake, but we kind of decided not to. And when we got down there, we realized the mosquitoes were pretty thick, so we were only about 2.5 miles from the trailhead and decided to go out the trail. And we met another person who had done the same loop and enjoyed some of the conversation with him about his travels in the West. So we're trying to learn as much as we can about traveling in the West. And we probably got to the trailhead about 3:30 in the afternoon, and had a nice long trip out, about 3 hours. And luckily we did that because we next day we had to meet Elizabeth's sister, and it was a great trip.